Hola, amiga. Welcome to the Latina Leadership Podcast, a podcast by Latinas for all women. Get ready because today's conversation is really special. Hey, amigas. It's Andrea, your co-host of Latina Leadership Podcast, and welcome back. I'm beyond excited to be here with you for something very special. Our best of season 11 episode. This is the kind of episode where we pause, breathe, and reflect on everything we've shared and learned and celebrated together over the past few months. Season 11 has been such a rich journey, full of stories, laughter, lessons, and inspiration, and I can't wait to walk with you through it all. So when I think about this season, the first thing that comes to mind is how incredibly diverse and vibrant the stories have been. Each guest brought something unique to the table, a piece of their experience, their culture, and their heart. This is the heartbeat of the podcast, showcasing real Latinas and Latinos, making a difference, pursuing their passions, and building legacies that go beyond themselves. So we kicked things off with Jessa McKinnis. This episode was such a grounding way to start the season because it reminded us that leadership doesn't always look like a corner office or a big title.
You need this and you need this. Okay, let's find solutions together to move forward because we got to move forward. And I think that's come in really handy when talking to folks who are not able to look at those. They're saying, but it has to be this way and we're here. And it's like, can you look at a different perspective? And then there's someone else who's like, oh, but it has to be this other direction, this other way. It's like, well, let's come together. It's that ability to come together and to help others come together that's really helped my ability to not only manage, but also be a coworker and be a good subordinate. I still have a supervisor. I still have people that I have to report to. So this way we were able to come together.
She's founder of Jessa McKinnis Consulting, talked about how she turned her strength into strategy. And it wasn't just about, business conversations. She shared the raw human side of entrepreneurship, the doubts, the criticism, the pressure to always perform. But what struck most me with that conversation we had was her insight about learning and understanding your unique talents. Even when others don't quite understand what you bring to the table, leaning into those gifts is how you lead with confidence, whether at work, at home, or in your community. I remember walking away from that episode thinking, yes, leadership is really about showing up as yourself. And it's such an important message, especially for Latinas, because often we feel pulled in so many directions, career, family, community. And Jessa's story reassured me that, our strengths, the things that make us who we are our greatest tools. And next we had Isabella Arguello Bacy. Isabella's episode hit close to home for so many of us. She shared her experience as a therapist, licensed master social worker, and a proud Latina from Houston's Acre Homes.
I think having a healthy conversation is really good. A great place to start is just sharing that, mental health is something that everybody should have access to, that it's important, that everybody deserves a place to be seen, to be heard, to be understood, and the things that we feel are valuable and important. How I would talk to, family members is letting them know, look, there's people that understand some of the barriers and challenges and things that we go through, and there's spaces that are created where our cultures are embraced, are supported, are reflected, and there's clinicians that have those backgrounds. And so, trying to start that conversation.
We dove into mental health, identity, and advocacy. What stood out to me was how her upbringing shaped the way she approaches care, not just for individuals, but for communities. She opened up about the cultural stigma surrounding mental health and the unique pressures first-generation Latinas face. We discussed mentorship, culturally sensitive care, and how representation in therapy really matters. Isabella's episode reminded me of the power in owning your story. Our backgrounds, our struggles, and our triumphs aren't just personal. They can become tools for change, for healing, for community building. And the way she wove personal anecdotes with actionable advice made it feel intimate, and inspiring. It really was such a well episode. I highly recommend for those looking to find their healing journey and looking to fight that stigma to really listen to that episode. And then came Molina Kabba, who completely flipped the script on dating. Oh, this was such a great conversation. Ashley founded A-List Dating, a platform centered on minority professionals. She shared how her frustration with traditional dating apps, which led her to create a space where love feels intentional, safe, and aligned with who we are. We talked about imposter syndrome, being the only Latina in the room, and how taking risks and saying yes to your ideas can transform challenges into opportunities. Ashley's story reminded me that leadership and entrepreneurship aren't limited to boardrooms and startups. Sometimes it's about creating solutions for spaces where you see gaps, spaces where others might not feel seen.
A lot of people out there are looking for something serious, but some of the dating apps that have existed, sometimes you don't even have to fill out one of those questionnaires. You just upload your photo, put what city and age, and you're on it, and you match with people, right? But they're not real. So I wanted something real. I wanted something intentional. And I learned in the interviews that I did that a lot of women and men wanted this, that were of different backgrounds, and a lot of them were minorities. And when I created A-List, I actually figured out, like, what do people want? People wanted to know, like, non-negotiables, right? Whether that's religion, a political party, right, which is big right now. People care about that stuff, and people want to be able to weed that out up front and not just match with someone random who doesn't have any of their similar beliefs or values. In our product, we actually require kind of a full onboarding of questions. We require you to put in your non-negotiables. You're required to prove your facial verification, which, I mean, I haven't been on dating apps in a while. I do a lot of research still, but I am happily married now. But I know in the past, like, facial verification wasn't required. Again, the questionnaires weren't required. And so I think just having kind of that background of wanting something real, I found that to be true for a lot of minorities.
And following Ashley, we spoke with Janet Murguía, President and CEO of Unidos US. Janet's story is one of impact on a national scale, yet deeply personal. She's been fighting for Latino communities for over 20 years. For healthcare access, backup protections, homeownership, voter registration, you name it. Janet shared the realities of advocacy, including challenges like budget cuts and anti-immigrant policies. But more importantly, she shared how Unidos US continues to push forward with resilience and strategy. And her episode reminded me that leadership isn't just individual, it's collective. And that's real progress comes when we show up for each other and for our communities, even when it's hard.
All of us, especially Latinas in this moment, need to be encouraged to speak up. And I think a lot of times, a lot of young Latinas who've been out there in their careers or doing the work they've been doing, still, despite years or real knowledge, still feel like they're not ready to lead. And we need to make sure we're conveying, and we need to find within ourselves the confidence in ourselves to understand that we are more than ready to lead in many different ways, because we are, as Latinas, I think, unique in so many ways. Latinas, are rising across every field right now. And when we lead differently. We lead with heart, culture, and ultimately with our community and families.
Correct.
Right in the center of our leadership.
Gordo's Eduardo Espina joined us next, bringing energy, insight, and a call to action. Carlos turned online citizenship classes into a nationwide movement, reaching millions on platforms like TikTok and Facebook. He talked about the importance of staying informed, being active in our communities, and using our voices to shape the future. Listening to Carlos, I was struck by the way technology, creativity, and community can intersect and create massive impact, especially in our world of today, where technology, and how I'm speaking to you right now, makes such a big impact. It was a reminder that advocacy comes in many different forms: online, offline, large scale, small scale, and that every action counts.
My first video was about citizenship. Si quieres hacerte ciudadano de Estados Unidos, esto es lo que tienes que saber. Si les interesa, déjenme saber y puedo hacer más videos como este. I posted that video, go to sleep. The next day I wake up, it has over 100,000 views.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, wow, what's going on here? You know, this was like my first TikTok video. But I realized that at that point, there was no one on TikTok doing informative content in Spanish for Latinos here in the US. So I started making more videos about the citizenship. By the end of 2020, I had almost 1 million followers. I hit my first 1 million followers almost a year into it. So around like February of 2021, I hit 1 million followers and like, wow, I have something special here. So I just kept going, you know, y todo lo que hacía, I would just record it, share it, and pues pegó, la gente le gustó, and thankfully I still do it to this day.
Bueno, les gustó porque es informative and you know what you're saying, you know what you're talking about.
We also laughed, learned, and reflected with Jenny Solares. Oh, that was such a great and funny conversation, but also really deep too. Jenny's story was such a fun, real, and relatable episode. Highly recommend for y'all to listen to that one. She shared how she transitioned from binging makeup tutorials to creating content that reaches millions, and while honoring her Guatemalan roots. We talked about burnout, online pressure, and the importance of authenticity. Jenny's episode reminded me that success isn't about following trends or pleasing everyone. It's about showing up as yourself fully, consistently, and with corazón.
Just incorporating a little bit about my life has really been able to help me with like burnout, because like, for example, I have been getting into running this past year, right? I mean, and I'm like a chunky girl. Running is not a thing that I ever thought that I would be into, right? So just kind of being vulnerable and posting like, y'all, I'm struggling out here, but I'm gonna do this. Just, you know, being real and raw about this new thing that I'm trying out. It's just stuff that you share about your life or things that you got going on, because like creating and, you know, making up songs or creating skits, it does burn you out sometimes when you feel like, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna post, you know, because you gotta be consistent, but you also don't want to force things, you know.
And then the next episode was Ana Cruz Hollingsworth, who brought another layer to our season exploring leadership in media. Ana grew up in Mexico, faced cultural and language barriers, and navigated male-dominated spaces in U.S. media. She founded Rollo de Mujeres Media to uplift Latina voices and create honest conversations. Ana's episode reminded me that entrepreneurship often involves fighting for our space, challenging misconceptions, and understanding that true success takes time, effort, and resilience. Her words, owning your story, embracing your values, stayed with me long after recording. Highly recommend that episode, especially if you're wanting to hear somebody's long journey and hearing that advice and how they grow into becoming who they are now. Ana's story was really inspirational.
But also, going back to being the first in the room, I think a lot of you women and girls out there, you are still gonna be first in the room. We are not even close to close that gap. But I see things completely different today. When I'm the only one in the room, I feel proud of myself. I feel more empowered. I was afraid before, and I was even mad. Sometimes I was like, why am the only one here? Why they don't listen to me? Why this? You know, you start becoming a victim of your situation. And I'm speaking of like when I was 27, now I'm 43 years old. Of course, I have more experience and everything, but now when I'm the only one in the room, I'm like, yes. And I use that opportunity to even represent in a bigger scale the Latino community.
We took a short break before diving into the Pompa Sisters episode, which was perfectly timed to coincide with the Latino Entrepreneurship Conference that we had. That pause gave me space to reflect on the season and larger work we've been doing. You know, we returned, Karina and Melissa Pompa shared their journey as sister entrepreneurs and community builders. Karina started as a stay-at-home mom and grew into a successful salon owner, and Melissa carved a path into real estate, building wealth and creating opportunities for others. Together, they launched the Pompa Building, a space designed to empower women in the beauty industry and beyond. Their story reminded me that leadership, faith, and family values can intersect to create lasting impacts.
Honestly, don't stop, don't quit, don't get discouraged. Surround yourself with people who think like you, who are motivated, who
show you a lot of support, and never doubt yourself. Whenever somebody tells you or tries to put a fear in you, don't listen to it. Focus on your own growth, and I promise you, you're not going to regret it.
Sky's the limit, and to not care about other people's thoughts or opinions. If you have a goal, go for it. Keep moving forward, because the people that would make fun of me whenever I were younger, yeah, I mean, I'm not even going to say anything, but I used to get bullied a lot and made fun of. I wasn't wearing the name brand clothes or the shoes or none of that stuff because my goals were different. Yes. I wasn't driving that nice car as everyone else, but I had different goals. So don't care about everyone else, just worry about your journey.
Jessica Zenteno joined us next, sharing her insights on holistic wellness and leadership. Jessica talked about how caring for ourselves allows us to lead more effectively and authentically. Authenticity really is a big theme in this season. We discussed burnout, fear, and uncertainty, challenges we all face, and how setting boundaries and leaning on one another strengthens our communities. Jessica's words were a reminder that self-care is a radical act of leadership and a step towards building stronger communities.
Never doubt your strength as a woman. Never doubt your divine birthright to lead and to really share your story, because I think all of us individually have our own unique story. And through that story, we can lead and we can really be there for our communities, our families, and show up for ourselves more. And I definitely recommend literature too, leaning into understanding what emotional learning is, understanding somatics more, because once we understand ourselves, our emotions, our mind, body, and spirit, we can be that leader that we aspire to be. We can be that successful entrepreneur that we aspire to be. But it really takes the first step of one, knowing your worth, knowing what you're doing, how you want to show up, and voicing your story.
Melissa Rojas, our next one, inspired us with her journey of resilience and creativity. After a difficult separation, she rebuilt her life through an Etsy shop that became Chasing Camila, a brand reflecting her Mexican heritage, motherhood, and vision. And this reminded me that starting over is not a setback, it's an opportunity. Every step forward, every creative decision builds a legacy of perseverance, creativity, and purpose.
You have to believe in yourself. You have to realize that you're stronger than even what you sometimes believe. And you really just have to take a day at a time, because it's not always going to be easy. You're going to go through hard things, but you have to really just believe in yourself and pull yourself out.
Toni Chapman brought warmth, flavor, and culture to our season. As a proud Afro-Latina, Toni shared how her heritage shapes her cooking and content creation. She talked about preserving family recipes, honoring the flavors that raised her, and connecting with others through food. Her upcoming cookbook, Everything's Good, is a testament to community, history, and love. Toni reminded me that food isn't just nourishment. It's storytelling, culture, and connection on a plate.
So it was really cool because it was like the starting point of my career as an author. I learned so much, and I was able to see what it's like to create a book and what kind of recipes people are really looking for in a book. Because nowadays people can go online and they find recipes, they can watch my videos and find recipes. So books, people tend to really want for major moments. That's what I'm seeing. So if you're gonna cook for a holiday, or you're gonna make something really special, or you have to make something because you're going over to your family's house, the book that I created, Everything's Good, really is going to help you with that. And my first self-published book, Made with Love, helped me kind of understand again what people want. I keep saying that, but I'm really passionate about figuring out what the audience wants and what they're looking for and what they need.
By the time this episode is out, her cookbook has already released. Everything's Good. Highly recommend y'all to check her out, and also check out that episode. Her story is amazing. I really like the dedication she put into that cookbook. It's an amazing conversation. I know I'm pitching in my own input, but especially with these conversations that I had with specific guests, I can tell you these were amazing conversations we had this whole entire season. So I really highly recommend, if you hear something you're like, oh, that sounds like interesting conversation that was had, go back and check these episodes out. And finally, our final episode was Veronica Pedersen closed our season with lessons in integrity, purpose, and entrepreneurship. Veronica, CEO and co-founder of Timeless Skincare, builds a brand rooted in quality, honesty, and care. She shared how small, intentional actions can create lasting impact and how empowering the next generation Latinas is central to her mission. Veronica reminded us that leadership isn't only about achieving success. It's about leaving a legacy grounded in integrity and heart.
And it's a misconception that people have, like you have to have like a certain beauty standard, right? Which is maybe not us in on billboards and magazines and things of that nature, you know. So I really we hit a wall for sure, but at some point or another, when you're creating something and doing something from a perspective of integrity, people will follow that, you know. And with that said, is just making your own standard.
You know, when I step back and look at season 11 as a whole, you know, I'm reminding myself of the last time I did an episode like this, which was for season 10. And it just feels like this season went by so quick, you know, and I see a big, beautiful tapestry of stories, you know, like I see like beautiful, each episode is a thread contributing to a bigger picture, and strength, resilience, authenticity, and community run through every conversation. You see, these are like the big recurring themes in this season. And we realize that leadership is not just a title. It's the courage to show up, share your story, and lift others as you rise. And speaking of lifting others, the Latina Entrepreneurship Conference was a highlight of this season. Even though you didn't mention it as much this season, you could see us working in the background with this, especially as we took the hiatus before the Pompa Sisters episode came out. You know, seeing so many women come together, share their ideas, learn and support one another was breathtaking. You know, the energy in the room, the panels, the networking. It was a living example of what we've been talking about all season. Our guest stories came alive in that space, real life action, connection, and empowerment. You know, and we saw even some of our guests become speakers too. Ana Cruz was out there. Veronica Pedersen also contributed and helped with our conference as well. You know, it's just amazing to see our community come together and see us come together and have these conversations that we've had on this podcast. Just see it come all together and circle back. It is really what we wanted all along. Have these safe spaces where all these entrepreneurs and all these people in leadership come together and we can unite as a community and lift each other up. So, you know, looking ahead to now, season 12. Oh my God. I can promise you even more stories that will challenge, inspire, and uplift. We'll continue to explore leadership, creativity, resilience, and culture, all while keeping the worth in authenticity that has become a heart of this podcast. We'll dive deeper, laugh harder, reflect more, and share lessons that you can carry into your own life and work. So, amigas, as we wrap up this best of season 11 episode, I want to leave you with this thought. Every story you hear here, every lesson you take in, is a reminder that you are not alone. Every choice you make, every risk you take, and every act of courage contributes to something bigger. Leadership isn't just a role, it's a daily practice. It's showing up, being seen, and creating a space for others to rise with you. And thank you for following me on this journey. Thank you for listening, reflecting, and growing alongside us. And amigas, don't forget, you can revisit every episode of season 11 on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or our YouTube channel. Take a moment to sit with these stories, let them inspire you, and carry their lessons into your life. Here's to rising together, embracing our roots, and showing the world what Latinas leadership truly looks like. Hasta la próxima. Ahí te miramos, amigas. Bye. Thank you for joining us in this amazing conversation today. If you need more information or resources, as always, they'll be in the description below. Please don't forget to follow us everywhere at Latina Leadership Podcast to stay updated with our latest releases, events, and more. We'll see you next time.